Welcome to this week's Thoughts from the Green Room with your host, Jeff Mays. This week's topic is on agents. Now, many artists are represented by agents, and depending on your viewpoint, an agent has a varying function. In some cases, for some artists, the agent is the employee of the artist. In other cases, the artist is the employee of the agent. Either way, it doesn't really matter how you look at it. The point behind an agent is that they submit the artist for their art in the attempts of helping to get them seen by or picked up by or showcased by some other party who's going to pay. The agent gets a little bit of money for that service. It's the way the world works. Now, the interesting thing about this from an actor's perspective, having sat down and talked with many other actors about their agents, is it seems to me that there is a very small ratio of people who love the relationship they have with their agent. Again, this is my experience, and talking to my friends, what I hear most often is this fear or this nervousness about approaching the agent, about trying to voice what they want to get accomplished or done with the agent's help, because it is necessary for the agent to get us to those bigger names, those bigger possibilities for our careers. As I listen to my friends talk about this often, and having once been in their shoes, I know how hampering and how hindering this can be. It really is like cutting off a foot and then trying to walk or run a marathon. It's almost impossible. I'm very fortunate. I'm represented by Heinz Management, and Terry Ritter is my agent, and her and I have a great relationship. This doesn't mean I haven't had bad relationships with agents in the past. I worked very hard to get Terry, and I'm very happy that I have her. And one of the reasons that I enjoy the relationship with Terry is that we have a great level of communication. Terry is open to suggestions from me, and we are able to start working on, and have always been able to, work towards progressing my goal. Recently, as you know, I did a number of short films that were a great time. There were 8 of them in total over the course of 3 months. And last week, Terry and I sat down together to discuss how we can use these films to start moving me forward and what's necessary as the next step so that I can continue off of this rise that I'm getting and turn it into much more of a career rather than a potential hobby or anything on the side. To that moment and that reflection on that, I was having a wonderful time with her. And when I got out of the meeting with her, I thought back to the value of what this is. And I started thinking about a couple of my other friends who work 9 to 5, who have managers they can't talk to, bosses they can't communicate with. And I realized that in terms of the relationship, my agent is no different than my boss or your boss at a 9 to 5 style job. They are an authority figure who communication is necessary with to advance. And recognizing that joint relationship and that correlation of relationships, I see it everywhere now. And I recognize that so few people have a great relationship with their management level people, and as a result, they're hindered. It slows not only them down, but in the long run, if you think about it, it slows down business. And with that in mind, I turn towards the suggestion to you all of start working on communication so that you can have better relationship with your immediate boss, manager, employer, whoever that person is, and make your life a hell of a lot simpler because there's less stress on you when you've got to talk to them. And I guess that is the real challenge for this week. For those of you out there who are having a hard time talking to your boss, your employer, your manager, this week I challenge you to discuss the fact that you have a hard time talking with them. And for those of you who have a great relationship already, I challenge you to go out and bring that to their attention and talk about the great relationship and what makes it work so you can either enhance it or at least give recognition and credit where credit is due. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your thoughts from the green room, and I will see you in 1 or 2 weeks.